You either have normal, hard or insane. We've changed the name, it makes people feel better. So yeah, we start off on easy, which everyone can do, and then gets to hard, it's a little bit more strenuous. And if we don't keep the difficulty curve under control, I don't think Barry's enjoying his game anymore. But we are, so arguably the difficulty curve's good for us. If we move on to that, then there's play ergonomics. Barry can't use a joystick. He's not going to enjoy this game. That's a hardware example, but after I've half completed my survey, and it's interesting to find that even though I thought the interface of the game was really good, there is so many people that just can't use it very well. So in the area of interface, there's a lot of work AI can do to detect when people are having a lot of trouble. The inversion setup in this game turned out to be quite horrific. You get multiple inversions for aiming, for cameras, horizontal inversions, and although it took me a second to set it up, not many other people could get it. So that was a blinding flaw we found. And then there's hooks for the game. These are good. Although AI isn't needed to help hooks, like you've all played games that you've got a hook that just keeps driving you back to it. AI can in itself be applied to make hooks better or create its own type of hooks. And when people get hooked, they play for a long time. A really long time. And they give you a lot of money. But you probably don't want to hook that good. Because Barry's not buying the next DVD. And then there's always personal factors. You can't make Barbie go shopping and expect to sell it to 15-year-old boys. On the other side, you can't really make Zombies Gone Mad and expect little girls to buy it. So that's the fact that you can't really control. That's an extreme example. It gets a lot more subtle than that. Like, people that like playing Counter-Strike don't like Unreal Tournament because Counter-Strike is tactical first-person shooter. Unreal Tournament is way too fast to be tactical. So even those things, that there is ways AI can help control the game on a per-person basis. And then there's the wow factor. This is a giant guinea spider bee, which I'm pretty sure would be scary. And you've all seen a wow factor in games. Sometimes they're accidental, the developers don't even know they've made them, other times they're intended, and they're just awesome. And there's a lot of things AI can do to help control that, like reducing the scripting on games. The wow factor tends to wear off if you play the game and at 6 times the exact same thing happens. If it's AI, you can avoid scripting and have it happen in different orders or different ways, or not happen at all. Yeah, the results from this survey that I'm doing, and basically those last slides I've put into a set of questions, and people play the game for about 45 minutes, then they answer the questions, and the questions they answer indicate on those results where people are generally having problems. And although the survey's not finished yet, it's still running until the end of December, I also already found there are places where many people get lost in the game, which a lot of other people just didn't even get a problem. Didn't get slowed down at all. They just walked straight through, pushed the button, kept going. Other people couldn't figure out that the button was a multiple tap. There's people that don't read the HUD, and they're an interesting case. So artificial intelligence that figures out when people aren't following what HUD's telling them would probably be good, because expert gamers aren't going to screw things up, but people who can't read the HUD definitely need help. And it's the way in which the game ergonomics are built. So I mentioned that before about the inversions being quite horrific. So once that survey is finished, I'll have the hard results and I'll be able to tell what the most likely areas are that I can actually throw some AI at to make the game better. And the plan is to develop it using the Unreal 2004 engine, possibly the 2007 engine, depending on what machines I've got at uni.
And how much money we got?
Perhaps DirectX 10. Okay, maybe not. But basically Unreal scripts, very flexible, it's fast prototyping, and you get full access to TCP UDP drivers, which I'm going to use to make a local network, which will then let me run any sort of native code, SQL databases, and I'm hoping to run neural networks on a PhysX card. should basically give me more than enough power to demonstrate that AI can make the game better on the whole, and then I'll have to get a bunch more people back into play and see if I've made the game better, if I've made it heinously horrible. We're hoping for better, but either way, it's an answer. And basically the players, it's going to be a more immersive, enjoyable experience. Perhaps playing a second time will be more enjoyable than it would have been typically. Benefits of game development, bigger audience, lots of money, more enjoyable games, more players, so the company gets a reputation, that's always good. And it would probably help keep development cycle down if it's used multiple times. Or if it's on something like a DS, it could become bloatware and completely horrid. But that's not part of my PhD. And that's it. Thank you.
Oh, that was very entertaining. Thank you very much, Paul. Very enjoyable. Anybody want to ask Paul questions on his work?
Are you going to have to come up with possibly a game that's similar to your game with AI at the end, so you can do a before and after sort of survey? When you're doing your final test of the game with AI, are you going to have to have one that's similar without the...
Similar to Uncharted?
Yeah.
Yeah, well that was a lot of debate over that because picking Unreal Tournament, which is the engine I can develop on to get people to test, is sort of, it's dated, it's old, it's got a lot of flaws that the whole universe already knows about. So basically we went with Uncharted because it was the most unflawed FPS we could find at the time. And I'm going to implement on 2004, 2007, and I'm going to compare that against the original. So I'm just going to mod the bots effectively. But as you saw in Barry's hideous brain slide, modding the bots is basically going to be scrapping what's there and writing a new one. And then compare that implementation to the original and see if I've made it better or worse.
Sound good?
Any more?
Any other comments or questions? No?
Any questions for Barry?
Yeah.
Very slight.
Well, it was close to the treadmill, but I think it did.
Actually, you may want to leave your laptop up there.
You're next.
All right. Thank you very much, Paul.